to day 13 of my 6th annual SLAP challenge. Lucky 13, this is gonna be a good one. So SLAP, S-L-A-P, stands for squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups. We are doing 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. And this is day 13 already. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video. So if you are already familiar with the challenge and how it works, go ahead and use the chapter markers to skip over this little intro and just go straight ahead to the workout tutorial or the warm-up, or straight to the workout if you want. Just use the chapter markers to skip ahead to whatever part of the video is relevant to you. If you are not familiar with the challenge, I just want to begin by talking a little bit about what the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, and how you can participate. So first of all, let me begin by telling you that there is a playlist for this challenge that contains all of the workouts we are doing in this challenge in chronological order. It is super easy to follow along. I will link the playlist up here in the iCard. It will also be linked in the description box down below the video. I will link it at the very end of this video as well so that you can't miss it. But basically, we are doing a total of 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of an ab exercise, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. That is the challenge in a nutshell. Now, I am going to be sharing a new workout with you every single day, and I'm doing the entire challenge right along with you. So I'm going to be working out with you every single day. In every video, I will explain and demonstrate the exercises that we're going to be doing that day. I will be providing beginner modifications. Then we'll do a quick warm-up together, we'll get our reps done together, and that's it. So why are we doing this challenge? Well, there are really two parts to this challenge. So the first part is our 160 reps that we're doing every day. And the purpose of those reps is, first of all, for me, I want to try to get myself back in shape. So I'm using those daily reps to build strength, of course, but also I am using those daily reps as a way of rebuilding the habit of daily exercise. Because I'm sure we've all heard that it takes 30 days to build a habit. Unfortunately, I can tell you from experience, it takes fewer days than that to break a habit. It doesn't take long to break the habit, and I have broken the habit of daily exercise. That's something that I want to get back to. So by committing to doing these reps every single day, except Sundays, because rest days are important. But we're doing 6 workouts a week, and so hopefully by the end of the challenge, I will have reestablished that habit of daily exercise so that we can continue with that momentum moving forward. And by reestablishing that habit of daily exercise, we're going to be able to get ourselves back in shape. So I'm using the challenge to reach those goals. That's the physical component. There is also a mental health component. And I'm actually not going to get into that too much right now. What I'm going to recommend, first of all, you do not have to do the whole challenge. If you just want to do this workout with me today, great, just do this workout. But if you do want to join the challenge, you can just start today. There's no rules that says you can't just jump in on day 13. I would rather have you do days 13 through 40 of the challenge than no days of the challenge. I would rather have you do just one day of the challenge than no days of the challenge. So whatever you can commit to. If you can't commit to doing all 40 days, then just commit to doing what you can. And if 40 reps of everything is too many for you, commit to doing 30 reps every day, or 20, or 10. Do your best. But any commitment you can make is better than no commitment. So if you want to join the challenge, but you're only capable of committing to a lesser degree, then do that, okay? But if you want to start the challenge on day 1, that would be amazing. So what you're going to do is click on the link for the playlist, and then you're going to start by watching the day 1 video. In the day 1 video, I went into a lot of detail about what the challenge is and more about why we're doing it And I really delved into the mental health component of this challenge a lot more in that video. So if you want to learn more about that part of the challenge, definitely watch that day one video. Watch the day one video regardless, because that explains everything that you need to know to start this challenge, okay? But basically what we're doing with this challenge as it pertains to our mental health is we are using these daily reps to address that negative self-talk, because the stronger we get and the closer we get to those physical goals, if you share physical goals similar to mine of getting in shape, maybe losing weight, the closer we get to those physical goals, the more we're going to be able to shut up that negative self-talk and turn it off. Every day that you find the motivation to get yourself dressed, get out here and do your reps is such a victory that it really goes a long way towards shutting up that negative self-talk. So at the end of each workout, we do one final rep. We do our 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 abs, 40 push-ups. That's 160 reps, but really the challenge is 161 reps every day. Because after we've completed our squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups, we do one final rep. We do a bonus burpee after every single workout. It is mandatory. It is part of the challenge. And part of the reason that we do that, a big part of the reason that we do that, is that it's a celebration. It's an exclamation point on the end of the workout to celebrate the fact that we did it. We got it done. Because I want you to think about making the commitment to do this challenge and then skipping your reps that day for whatever reason. And then I want you to think about the end of the day, how bad you would beat yourself up for making one bad decision, one mistake. How bad would you beat yourself up for not doing your reps today and not following through on your commitment? How badly would you want to just scrap the whole thing and drop out of the challenge altogether? Seems a little bit disproportionate, right? It's one day, it's 160 reps. In the grand scheme of things, that's not that big a deal, but a lot of us have a tendency to really beat ourselves up over little things, okay? How bad do you beat yourself up when you get home from work and you're tired and you're hungry and you just want to munch on something and you sit down with a bag of chips and next thing you know, the chips are gone? It's one bag of chips, but you beat yourself up about it relentlessly, right? So that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to put things in perspective and we're trying to create a paradigm shift. So however bad you would beat yourself up over eating a bag of chips or skipping your reps that day, that is how jubilantly and how over the top we want that celebration to be when we do our reps. So the bonus burpee is just kind of a manifestation of that. It's an exclamation point at the end of the workout. It's a celebration that we did a good thing. We followed through on our commitment. We got our reps done. And it is meant to be a paradigm shift. It is meant to make you feel like you did the thing and you should feel good about yourself. Okay? You followed through on your challenge. Or I should say you followed through on your commitment to do the challenge. And that's huge. Motivation is difficult, and especially if you're just in the beginning stages of of rebuilding that habit of daily exercise. If the habit hasn't been established yet, it is incredibly hard. Even when I have established that habit and it is just a thing I do to work out every day, I don't question it, there are days when it still feels impossible to find the motivation to do. So don't underestimate how big of a hurdle that can be. And so don't beat yourself up so relentlessly if you miss a day here or there. We're trying to rebuild that habit and it might not happen overnight. You might miss a day here or there. So the point is to commit to doing what you can and then just do your best. Your best is always good enough. So show yourself some grace. Let your best be good enough. And let's work towards silencing that negative self-talk and allowing it to hold us back by celebrating each and every win. So every day that you do get out here and do your reps with me, even if you only do 10 reps or 20 reps or 30 reps, that's a win. So celebrate it. Do your bonus burpee and feel good about the reps that you got done. So those are the main reasons why we're doing the challenge. There's a physical component, trying to build strength, get back in shape, lose weight, and establish a habit of daily exercise. And then there's the mental health component of silencing that negative self-talk and celebrating our wins, trying to create that paradigm shift. Now, how to participate in the challenge. So again, I want you to start by watching that day 1 video, because that video does explain every single thing that you need to know about how to participate in the challenge. And you already know that the way you participate in the challenge is by doing 40 reps, if you can, of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups a day, every day except Sundays, for 40 days. But as I mentioned before, I'm going to be sharing a structured workout with you every single day. I'm going to explain and demonstrate the exercises, give you your beginner modifications, then we're gonna warm up and do the workout together. If you want, you're more than welcome. You're always invited to do exactly what I'm doing. However, if on any given day you do not like the workout I'm doing, or you don't have time to sit and do a structured workout, or the variations of those exercises I'm doing are too difficult, you have options. So first option that you have is just to choose any other workout. You can always repeat workouts, that's fine. So if you don't like the exercises we're doing today, but there was another workout that we did previously in the challenge that you love, to just repeat that workout. That's absolutely fine. If you like the workout, but you just can't do the push-up variation I'm doing today, just substitute with any other push-up variation. Same thing for squats, lunges, and abs. If you can't do the ab variation that I'm doing today, just substitute with any ab variation that you can do. That's the great thing about this challenge, is that it is so easily customizable. As long as you're getting your 40 squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups done every day, it doesn't matter how you get them done. It doesn't matter which of the workouts you do. It doesn't even matter if you do a workout at all. It doesn't have to be a structured workout. You can just do reps randomly throughout the day if that works better for you. So for example, you could get up in the morning and first thing just do 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of any ab exercise you want, 10 push-ups, and then get ready for work, go to work. After lunch, just repeat that again. And then when you get home, do it again. Once more before bed, finish up with your final 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 reps of abs, 10 push-ups. It can be any variation of those 4 exercises that you want. But as long as you complete your 160 reps throughout the course of the day, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge. So it doesn't even have to be a structured workout. And again, if you do want to do a structured workout, but you don't like the exercises I'm doing, just sub them out with different variations. Okay, so you can make up your own workouts if you want. As long as you get your reps done, it doesn't matter. Any way you want to get those 161 reps done, because don't forget your bonus burpee, you have met your requirement to participate in the challenge, and you're good. So if you do want to make the commitment to participate in the challenge with me, and you do want to go back to the beginning and start on day 1, that's great. So you're gonna start by watching that day 1 video, and then when you're ready to actually begin the challenge, just make sure that you start with that day 1 video on a Wednesday. Any random Wednesday will work, but as long as you do your day 1 workout on a Wednesday, then all you have to do is just follow along with the playlist and everything will fall into place. I have made it super easy to follow along. And remember that I am doing the challenge with you. I am right here working out right along with you every single day, but I am also here to answer questions. So if you have any questions about what the challenge is and how it works, how to participate, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing on any given day, if you have doubts about how to do the exercises correctly, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I am always here to help, so please just ask. In that day 1 video, I went into a lot of detail about how to do squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups with the correct form, and I also provided tons and tons of beginner modifications, because this year I am making a concerted effort to ensure that this challenge is more accessible than ever to ultra super duper day 1 beginners. So if you are in terrible shape and you have never done a workout before in your life and you think you can't do a squat or you think you can't do a push-up, you can. I promise you can. And if you watch that day one video, you will see how. If you can sit down into a chair, you can squat. Okay, and if you can't get down onto a mat for abs, you can do standing abs. And if your knees are terrible and it's too difficult to do push-ups from your knees, then you can do push-ups off of your kitchen counter or on the wall. And I demonstrated and explained all of these beginner modifications in the day one video. I also went over all of these modifications for about the first week and a half of the challenge. So really, if you watch any of those videos from days like 1 through 9, you will see all of the ultra super duper day one beginner modifications for all 4 exercises. So I promise you that no matter your age, your weight, your fitness level, I don't care if you have the worst knees in the whole world, whatever obstacle you feel is holding you back and would prohibit you from participating in this challenge, I promise you that you can do these exercises and you can do this challenge with me. So if you want to start by just doing this workout with me and seeing how it goes for you and then deciding whether or not you want to commit to doing the challenge, that's great. We are going to get into the exercises that we're about to do. I'm going to demonstrate and explain each of these exercises, and I will be providing some beginner modifications for you. But first, real quickly, let me just tell you, if you are not a beginner and you want something a little bit more challenging, like I said, this is my 6th year in a row doing this challenge. So if you're more advanced, the workouts that we are doing this year might not be difficult enough for you. So if you're looking for something more intense, I'm going to recommend that you follow along with last year's playlist, and I will link that up here in the iCard. I will also link it in the description box down below the video. It will be linked at the very end of this video as well. Last year's challenge, same thing, we were doing at least 40 squats, 40 lunges, 40 reps of abs, and 40 push-ups a day, every single day except Sundays for 40 days. But the workouts that we were doing last year were generally longer. We were frequently doing more than just 160 reps. We were doing more difficult variations of those exercises. We were adding weights. We were incorporating cardio into the workouts. So if you want something that's going to challenge you a little bit more, go ahead and save last year's playlist. Save this playlist as well, because the workouts that we're doing this year, even though they're shorter and they're kind of simpler, they're still great workouts. And they're a great option to have. So if there's a day that you just are really pressed for time and you just want to bust out your reps really quickly, if you're in good shape, pretty much all of the workouts that we're doing this year, you can have complete in under 10 minutes. And a lot of these workouts that we're doing this year, if you're in really good shape, they make a great warm-up for a long run or a hike or a bike ride or something like that. So make sure that you save both playlists. But if you are in good shape or you're more advanced and you're capable of doing more difficult workouts than what we're going to be doing today or what we've been doing this year for the challenge, and you want this challenge to actually challenge you, then you might be better off to follow last year's playlist. So make sure you save both playlists. You can always kind of bounce back and forth between the two. But regardless of your fitness level, if you want to do this workout with me today, I'm going to begin by explaining and demonstrating the exercises so that you know what's coming up. So let's go ahead and get into that right now. The first exercise is squats. So let me begin by just going over the correct form for your squats. The first thing you want to do is make sure that your shoulders are back and down. So pinch your shoulder blades together behind you, and then just make sure that your shoulders are away from your ears. So not up here, but down here and back. So if you imagine that you are trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets, that's going to help you keep your shoulders back and down, and it's also going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. So make sure you have this nice tall chest the entire time that you're doing the squats. The next thing I want you to do is really tighten up your abs. You want your entire core engaged. If you imagine that someone is about to punch you in the stomach as hard as they can, think about how you would brace for that impact. So really tighten up your abs. And then finally, before you actually think of squatting, because if you think about squatting straight down, what tends to happen is that your knees end up out over your toes. That's not what we want, and that's really not the movement. So before you think about squatting, what I actually want you to do is think about hinging at the hips. So I'm going to really push my booty back, and I like to imagine that I'm trying to touch this wall behind me with my booty. Because when I do that, you can see that now my weight is completely in my heels. I can actually pick up my toes. And remember, my shoulders are back and down. My chest is lifted nice and high. My abs are engaged. So as I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, I'm imagining that I'm trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest. So the point is that I want my spine to be nice and elongated because I want to keep my back flat. You don't want to allow your back to round like this. So tuck the shoulder blades into the back pockets. Chest is lifted high. Tighten up the abs, push the booty back. Trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. At the same time, trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. And now from this position, with your back flat and your weight entirely in your heels, this is where you can sink down into your squat. Okay, so do your best to see if you can at least get your thighs parallel to the ground. You may not be there yet, and that's fine. Work to your own level. It's very important that you're not pushing your body into doing something it's not ready to do. So if you're here, that's fine. Be where you are. But the goal eventually is to see if you can get your thighs so that they're parallel to the ground. And then once you have sunk as deep into the squat as you're going to, you're just going to press your heels into the ground to stand. And I mean really actively press your heels into the ground. Imagine that you're trying to actually push the ground away from you. It's just going to activate all of those muscles in your feet, through your legs, your quads. You really want to feel your quads working, your glutes, and of course your core is already nice and strong and tight and engaged. And that's a basic air squat, okay? So once more, let's put it all together. Tuck the shoulder blades into the back pocket. Chest is lifted high. Shoulders are back and down. Abs are tight. Push your booty back, keeping your back flat and the weight in your heels as you sink down into your squat. Then actively press your heels into the ground. Push the ground away from you to stand. All right, so that is your basic air squat. And if you want to just stay there, you can just do that. I'm just going to be adding a little twist. So as I sink down into my squat, I'm going to kind of twist my body thoracically, and I'm going to reach down and tap this toe with the opposite hand. If you can't reach all the way down and tap your toe, then you can twist and tap the opposite knee. That's absolutely fine. And then I'm just gonna kind of do a little shuffle. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to squat, twist and tap the toe, and then I'm just gonna do a little shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And then I'm gonna repeat that on the other side. So I'm going to squat, I'm going to twist the other way, tapping the toe with the hand on the opposite side, feeling that twist, feeling a little crunch in my obliques. Come back up to stand, and then I'm gonna do a shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. So just 3 little steps. Squat and twist, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Squat and twist, shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All right, if the shuffling is too much for you, that's fine. You can just do like side to side squats. So you can start here with your feet together. Step to the side and do your squat. Add the twist if you want. And if you can't touch your toe, you can come here, twist and tap the knee, and then step the feet back together again as you stand. Repeat that on the other side. So you just alternate sides with each rep. So now with the opposite foot, you can step to the side as you sink down into your squat, twist and tap the knee, and then as you stand, push the ground away from you and bring the feet together, okay? Step out, squat, twist and tap the knee. Stand, feet together, other side. step out and squat, twist, tap the knee, stand, and bring the feet together. Remember that you can always use a chair or some other appropriately strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface to assist you with your squats. So if you need to see that modification, again, just ask me. I will be more than happy to walk you through how to do that. But you can also watch any of the videos from days 1 through 9. If you are an ultra beginner and you need a chair to assist you with your squats, lunges, abs, or push-ups, you can use a chair to assist you with all 4 of those exercises. So if you are at that level, please just go back to the day 1 video and begin the challenge from day 1. And by day 9, you will have a firm grasp of how to use a chair to assist you for all of these exercises. But if you're having any trouble finding those or you have questions still, please just ask and I will be more than happy to walk you through how to use a chair to assist you for your squats. But I do think that most beginners should be able to handle this modification, all right? So hopefully that will work for you. If it doesn't and you need any further assistance, I am right here to help. So next is lunges. We're actually going to be adding weight to our lunges. Yes, you can. Now don't worry if you don't have dumbbells or a kettlebell or anything like that. What I want you to do is just grab a water bottle or a shampoo bottle. I just grabbed a bottle of body wash from out of the shower. So look for household items that will work. A shampoo bottle or a water bottle works great. So for this, I'm just using the liquid that's already in here. It's very light, okay? So something like this works fine, but again, you can just fill a water bottle with water. If you want to challenge yourself a little more and make your weight a little bit heavier, you can try filling a water bottle or an empty shampoo bottle, for example, with something like kitty litter or powdered laundry detergent, uncooked rice, dried beans, something like that, or sand. Okay, so household items are perfect for this, just as long as whatever you're using is something that you are able to maintain a secure grip on. You're not going to drop it and hurt yourself, or nothing that's going to break and make a mess if you drop it, okay? So you want something that you can maintain a secure grip on and it's not too heavy for you, then pretty much anything will work. If you do happen to have a light set of dumbbells, that's great. Go ahead and grab those. Again, just as long as they're not too heavy for you. But I am really, again, gearing this challenge this year towards absolute beginners. So I'm assuming that you do not have exercise equipment, and so that is why, even though I have dumbbells, I'm going to demonstrate with using a household item that I'm sure you have, okay? So water bottle or shampoo bottle, something like that. And now we're going to be doing these kind of, I call pivot lunges, which I can never say without wanting to say pivot. Pivot. So you're going to start by standing with your feet a little wider than shoulder width. And then you're going to take one foot, and so right now both of my feet are facing you, facing forward. I'm going to take one foot, pick up the toes, and rotate this foot so that now my toes are pointing towards this wall over here, okay? The foot that's facing you, the foot that's facing forward, that's the side that's holding the weight. The other hand can just be on your hip, that's fine. And then from here, I'm going to now pick up this heel and I'm going to pivot around on my toes so that now both feet are facing this wall. And as I do that, I'm going to bend both knees. And I like to tap this back knee to the ground. You don't have to, okay? If you do, just make sure that you are really controlling the movement so you don't bang your knee into the ground. The movement needs to be under control regardless, but I just especially want you to be safe. I've banged my knee into the ground many times and it's not fun, so just you want to avoid that. And then as I do that, I'm reaching down towards this front foot with my weight. Now I'm going to press the ground away and I'm going to pivot this foot forward again. And I'm going to bring the weight up to my shoulder. And now we're just going to press the weight straight up overhead and then bend the elbow again. Bring the weight back down to the shoulder, return to the starting position. okay? It sounds like a lot when I'm explaining it, but it's really not, okay? So, feet together, holding the weight on one side. The side that's holding the weight, that foot's gonna stay facing forward. You're going to pick up the other foot, step it out to the side, and rotate the toes to face this wall. You can place your free hand on your hip. Now you're going to pick up this heel and pivot. Rotate your toes to face the wall, bend both knees, sink down into your lunge, bringing your weight down towards the front foot. Then press the ground away, and as you pivot back, this weight is going to come up to your shoulder. Then you're going to straighten your elbow, press the weight up overhead, bend the elbow, and return to your starting position, bringing the weight back down to your shoulder, right into your next rep. So pivot, sink down into that lunge, pivot back, bringing the weight up to the shoulder, press the weight up overhead, weight comes down to the shoulder, staying on the same side. So next rep, pick up this heel, pivot the foot, sink into the lunge. Tap the weight down towards that front foot, press the ground away, pivot that foot back forward to stand, bringing the weight up to your shoulder, press the weight up overhead, weight comes back down to the shoulder. All right, so make sure that when you're down here in the lunge, that you're doing your best to pay attention to this front knee. You want ideally about a 90-degree angle in this front knee. So what that means is that you want to do your best to make sure that the knee of your front leg is more over the heel of your front foot, as opposed to being out over the toes like this, okay? So try to make sure the weight is in the heel. You want to try to have about a 90-degree angle in this front knee. And again, just make sure the movement is under control. If you're an absolute beginner and it's too complicated to keep track of everything, simplify it, okay? Eliminate the added weight and shorten up your range of motion if you need to as well. So let me just walk you through how it would look with no added weight, and I'm going to shorten up my range of motion so that you see if you're a beginner and you can't sink so deep into the lunge as I was, that you can still do the exercise. So you're gonna start with your feet together. Now step your feet. I had mine wide. You can just step them here, okay? Just a little bit wider than your shoulders. Same exercise though. So you're gonna pick up this heel, pivot the foot so that the toes are facing this wall. You can have both hands on your hips, and then you're just going to take this foot that's facing forward, pick up the heel, pivot to face this way, and come down into your lunge a little bit. You don't have to come down all the way down here, okay? If you're a beginner and you don't have that range of motion yet, come here, and then pivot forward, okay? So this foot is staying planted with the toes facing this wall. All you're doing is picking up the heel of this foot, pivoting to face the wall, coming down into that lunge just a little bit. Work to your own level, then press the ground away to stand and pivot that foot so that the toes are facing forward again, okay? So pivot and lunge, and then pivot to face forward again. Pick up the heel, pivot, lunge, and face forward. If it helps to have a chair to hold on to for support, that's great. You can hold on to a chair for support. Okay, again, just make sure if you are using a chair to assist you for any of these exercises, make sure that your chair is strong enough to support your body weight. Make sure that it is sturdy so that it is not going to collapse or break when you put weight on it, or fold up on you. So don't use a folding chair or anything like that. You want to make sure that your chair is well made and in good condition. Nothing that's going to collapse or break when you put weight on it. And make sure that your chair is stable, meaning that it cannot slide from underneath you. So I always recommend placing your chair or stool or whatever you're using on top of an exercise mat just to help it stay put. But as long as you have access to a strong, sturdy, stable, elevated surface, you can absolutely hold on to a chair or a bar stool or something for support. You can shorten up your range of motion. You can ditch the weight, okay? There's always a way to modify to make it work for you. So please just work to your own level. And again, if you need any further help with beginner modifications, I am right here. So please just ask. So moving on to abs, I am going to be down on my mat for abs. If you cannot get down onto the mat, remember you can do standing abs. You can hold on to a chair or the wall, and then you can just step your opposite foot out to the side, take this free hand, bend the elbow, and place the hand behind your neck. And then you're just going to lift this leg, bend the knee, and as you do that, you're going to crunch, bringing your elbow to meet your knee. Okay, really feeling that crunch in your obliques. So lift the knee, crunch elbow to knee. If you are able to actually touch your knee with your elbow, great, that's what you're going for, but work to your own level. So if you can't quite get there, just get as close as you can, all right? If you're here, that's fine. Just really make sure that you're feeling that crunch in your oblique. But that's our standing ab exercise for people who cannot get down on the mat. If you can't get down on the mat, then we are going to be doing kind of a knee hug plus a leg lift. So it looks like this. I'm going to come down on my mat, and I'm just going to place my hands right next to my booty, right here, okay? Kind of sitting up with my knees bent. Then I am going to kind of lean back, and I just have my hands here to support me. So I'm kind of straightening my legs and leaning back. Then I'm going to bend my knees and crunch them in towards my chest, and I'm bringing my torso forward again as well. So just bringing knees to chest. That's the first part of the movement. So knees to chest, and then extend again. And then from here, I'm going to lift the legs straight up, keeping my knees more or less straight, okay? So it's kind of the same exercise, but instead of bending the knees and crunching them in towards my chest, I'm going to kind of bring my legs and my torso together like a V, keeping the legs more or less straight like this, okay? And the knee crunch plus the V up, I'm counting as 1 rep, okay? So I'm sneakily kind of doubling your abs today. Hang in there, you don't have to do that. Let me just put a couple of reps together so you see what I'm doing, and then I'll give you some options if that's gonna be too much for you, all right? So I'm down here on the mat, my knees are bent, heels are on the mat. I'm gonna place my hands on the mat for support. Now I'm going to lean back with my torso and extend my legs out in front of me. Now I'm going to crunch knees into chest, return to my starting position, and then my V up. I'm lifting my legs straight and bringing my torso forward, kind of coming together like a V. That's 1 rep. So crunch, knees into chest, return to the starting position, V up, lifting the legs straight up. So that would be rep number 2. Crunch, V up, that's rep 3. Crunch, V up, that's 4. Okay, so like I said, each rep is really 2 reps because it's 1 knee crunch plus 1 leg lift or 1 V up that we're counting as 1 rep. So if that's too much for you, I'm going to give you 4 options, I think. All right, option number 1, you can just do the same exercise, but instead of counting each crunch plus each leg lift as 1 rep, you'll just count, it's gonna be like you're alternating between knee crunches and leg lifts. So you do the same exercise, but you'll just count it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that you're doing exactly what I'm doing, but what I'm counting as 2 reps, or what I'm counting as 1 rep, you'll count as 2 reps. Make sense? So you'll just count knee crunch, that's 1 rep, then V up, that's 2. Alternating, knee crunch, that's 3, V up, that's 4. So that's your first option. Option number 2, you can do just the knee crunches, okay? So just eliminating the V up, and you're just gonna stay right here and crunch 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And that can be your ab exercise. Option number 3, you can eliminate the knee hugs and do just the V-ups or just the leg lifts. I don't really know what I'm calling these yet. I've done them before, I just don't remember what I called them. So you're gonna start here, and then you're just going to do your V-ups. So you're gonna keep your legs straight the entire time, and you're gonna bring your legs up as you bring your torso forward, bringing your body together like a V, like this. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that is option number 3. And then option number 4, do any other ab exercise you want. Okay, so if none of that's going to work for you, then you can just do any sit-up or crunch variation you want. You can do your standing abs. Okay, you can repeat one of the ab exercises we've done prior in the challenge. Literally any ab exercise you want to do is fine. So just do what works for you, but I'm going to be doing the knee crunch plus the V-up as 1 rep. So the last exercise is our push-up variation. I'm going to be doing pigeon push-ups. And assuming you are able to get yourself into a pigeon pose, this is actually a pretty easy push-up variation. So let's start by getting into our pigeon pose. So because whether or not you're going to be doing this variation with me is all going to depend on whether or not your body wants to do pigeon pose. So what you're going to do is you can start down here in like a tabletop position just to find your pigeon pose. So start with your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. Then from here, you can extend 1 foot behind you and bring the other knee in towards your chest and lay it down on the mat. Okay, and then you're going to come down so that the top of this back leg is resting on the mat and the outside of this front leg is resting on the mat. Now I have my foot pretty close to my hip flexor on this side. The closer your foot is to your hip flexor, meaning that the more acute of an angle you have in this front knee, the easier this pose will be. If you want to increase the difficulty of the pose, then you can move this front foot towards the front of the mat so that your front leg, the knee in your front leg is at a right angle or close, so anywhere in between, okay? But the more you work towards sliding this foot forward so that you're in essentially, your front leg is, your front knee is in essentially a right angle, that's going to increase the difficulty. So work to your own level. For this exercise, I like to have my foot closer to my hip flexor because I think it makes it easier to do the push-up part. But just keep in mind that if you do want to increase the difficulty, you can play with the position of this front foot. Now, once you found this position, you want to make sure that your hips are square. And what I mean by that is that your hips are facing directly forward and you're not kind of leaning into this booty cheek of your bent leg, okay? You don't want to be kind of twisting this way. I don't want my hips kind of facing at a 45-degree angle this way. I want them facing this wall in front of me, perfectly directly square on with the wall. That's what you're going for, okay? And then from here, we're just gonna do these little push-ups. So if you can find this position, I feel pretty confident that you can do the push-up part. But if getting into this pigeon pose is too difficult for you, you're going to have to choose another push-up variation. But remember, that's the beautiful thing about this challenge is that any push-up variation will work. So let me just continue showing you how to do these pigeon push-ups, and then we'll move on to a couple of other modifications that you can try if this is not going to work for you. So I'm here in my pigeon pose. My hips are square. The top of this back leg is resting on the mat. My hip flexor is stretched and open. My hips are square. I'm facing the wall in front of me. My hands are more or less under my shoulders, and I'm just going to bend my elbows and lower my chest down towards this front leg. And then I'm just going to push myself back up. That's it. So you want to keep your chest high, chest lifted nice and high. So keep your shoulders from creeping up towards your ears. You want your shoulders down away from your ears. Keep your chest lifted high. You want to keep your spine nice and elongated. So try not to be rounding your back. You want a nice flat back, and you want your head in line with your spine. So also try to not let your head drop down like this. Just have your head in a nice neutral position. Again, you want your head just in line with your spine, and keep it still. The only thing you're doing is bending your elbows. Keep your elbows tucked in tight to your rib cage if you can. Then the elbows, lower your chest down all the way so it's touching your leg if you can, and then just press the ground away and push yourself back up or return to your starting position. If you are having trouble getting into pigeon pose, then you can just do any push-up variations. So if you want to just do knee push-ups, you're going to start by making sure that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back into a plank position, and then from here all you need to do is just place your knees down on the mat. And you want to make sure that you're not sinking into your shoulders like this. You want to press the mat away from you so that your shoulders are away from your ears. You also want to make sure that your back is nice and flat. So do not allow your hips or your belly to kind of droop towards the mat like this. Instead, what you need to do is really tighten up your ab muscles. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips high and keep them high. So make sure your core is nice and strong and tight and engaged the whole time. And again, you want your head in line with your spine. So don't allow your head to drop down like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck. You want to just imagine that you are standing up against a wall and kind of lightly pressing the back of your head into the wall so that your head is perfectly straight up and down in line with your spine, and then you want to keep your head still. So don't allow your head to be kind of bobbing up and down while you do the push-ups. Once you have found your plank position and your body is in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders, you're just going to bend your elbows and lower your chest towards the mat as close as you can get it. And then you're going to press the mat away from you to return to your starting position. So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, that's fine. Just get it as close as you can without breaking that one straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So a lot of times the temptation, if you're only able to come down this far, the temptation is going to be to kind of lower your hips or your belly down to the mat. Another really common mistake that I see people make is if you're only able to come here, a lot of people will lower their forehead down to the mat. But remember that you don't want your head to move, you want your head to stay in line with your spine. And remember that you want to keep your body in one straight line from your knees to your shoulders. So yes, the goal is to get your chest down to the mat, but that's not the objective. Does that make sense? The objective is to maintain that straight line from your knees to your shoulders. The goal is to be able to get your chest down to the mat, but you might not be there yet. As long as you are maintaining this straight line from your knees to your shoulders, it doesn't matter how close to the mat you can get your chest, just as long as you're not compensating by lowering your hips or your belly to the mat, or by lowering your forehead down to the mat. Okay, so if you can only come down halfway, that's fine. Just shorten up your range of motion. As soon as you've gotten your chest as close to the mat as you can, you're just going to press the ground away and return to your starting position, and that's your push-up. Having your hands elevated will make the push-ups a bit easier, and you can do that from your knees as well. So again, if you have a strong, sturdy chair that you can use for support, just place it on top of your mat, and you can do the same thing from your knees, holding onto your chair and bringing your chest to the chair instead of all the way down to the mat. All right, so that's another option. And then if you cannot come down to the mat at all, and you can't be on your knees for the push-ups because it's too painful, then you can do wall push-ups, or you can do push-ups off your kitchen counter. And again, all of those modifications were covered in the workouts that we did early on in the challenge. So any of those videos that I shared for the first week and a half of the challenge, I want to say days 1 through 9-ish, you will be able to see those modifications in detail. So if you can't get down onto the mat to do your push-ups, and you can't get on your knees to do push-ups, you still have options. So watch the day 1 video to see those, or watch any of the videos from days 1 through 9 really to see those modifications. And again, if you still need help, I am here to help, so please just ask. So that's it, that's all of the exercises that we are doing today. Now here's the format. We are basically going in order again today. And when I say that, what I mean is that we are spelling out the word slap. So we are starting with our S for squats. We're doing our squat variation first. I'm doing that squat with an oblique twist plus the little shuffle in between, alternating sides. So I'm going to be doing 20 total reps, alternating sides with each reps. Next is L, S-L-A-P. So L is for lunges. I'm going to be doing 20 lunges. I will stay on one side. We're doing those pivot lunges plus the overhead press if you're adding weight. If not, you're just going to lunge and return to center. So you'll stay on one side for 10 reps. We're doing 20 total reps. So stay on one side for 10 reps, and then you're going to switch sides. So you'll pivot this foot towards the other wall, and you'll do your lunges to this direction, 10 reps. Next is A for abs. So I'm going to be coming down onto my mat, and I'm going to do that little combo of knee hugs and leg lifts that I showed you. So for me, the knee hug and the leg lift is 1 rep, and I'm doing 20 reps. I will be crying. So remember that you can always cut that in half by counting differently than I am, or you can just do 1/2. You could do either just the knee hugs or just the leg lifts or any other ab exercise you want. But whatever ab exercise you choose, you're going to do 20 reps. And then finally, we're going to do 20 reps of push-ups. Any push-up variation you want to do is fine, 20 reps. I'm going to be doing those pigeon push-ups. So I'm going to do 10 reps on each side. I'll do 10 reps with this leg forward, then I'll switch positions, and I'll do 10 more reps with the opposite leg forward. So then after I have completed all 20 reps of my push-ups, I just have to repeat the whole thing once more, and that is how I'm getting my 160 reps of squats, lunges, abs, and push-ups done today. Hopefully that is all clear. Please remember that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video, and I'm going to do the workout with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions, but then of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need help with beginner modifications, please just ask. It's very important that you do understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it is also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. That is especially true for this challenge this year. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. Remember also that it's really important, especially if you're going to be working out along with the video, that you go at your own pace and mind your form. Do not sacrifice your form for speed. It's also really important to make sure that you're taking a few minutes to warm up before you begin the workout, because warm muscles are more pliable. So you will be less likely to pull or strain something during the workout. So taking a couple of minutes to warm up is going to really help reduce your risk of injury. So if you're ready to go ahead and start this workout with me now, go ahead and grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. If you don't have a mat, a towel may suffice. If you're working out On a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all, but we're going to be doing abs, and if you're going to be on your knees for push-ups, you're just going to be more comfortable with something soft beneath you. So definitely grab an exercise mat or a yoga mat if you have one. And then now you can pause the video, go get dressed, and then maybe right back here, we will do a quick 5-minute warm up together, and then we'll get our reps done. All right, so when you're ready, let's get started with our quick 5-minute warm up. You're just going to begin by letting your head gently fall towards one side, and you're going to rest your hand on top of your head. You're not actively pulling your head down. You're just resting your hand there, and you are allowing gravity to do the work of gently stretching your neck. And now we're going to switch sides, so you're going to let your head fall to the opposite side. You're going to rest your hand on top of your head and just let gravity gently pull your ear towards your shoulder. Make sure this other shoulder's not creeping up like this. Keep your shoulders down. And then we're going to do some rolls side to side. So you're going to start by letting your chin drop to your chest and then rolling your head to the other shoulder and back. And with each roll, I'm just letting my head get heavier and heavier, increasing my range of motion until I'm really sweeping the ground with my fingertips. And now we're just going to roll our shoulders. So make big circles with your shoulders. Really exaggerate that movement, exploring your full range of motion. And now we're going to do arm circles. So you're going to extend your arms out to the side and start with just small circles. And then gradually, you're going to start increasing your range of motion, making the circles bigger and bigger until finally you're swinging your arms as wide as you possibly can. Now step your feet so that they're a little bit wider than your shoulders and bend the knees. Sweep your hands down in front of you and then reach and stretch up above you. And again, with each squat, you're expanding your range of motion, sinking deeper into that squat, reaching higher up above you. Now step the feet in, or no, first we have to do our little lunges. I forgot about the lunges. So just gently lunge side to side. And then you want to start adding the arms. So just reaching across your body with each lunge, like you're trying to throw your arm across the room. Now step your feet together and just march. You're going to start with your knees low, and then as the interval progresses, you're going to gradually start driving those knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving them up as high as you can. And now we're going to do the same thing with a jog. So you're going to start with a nice light jog, and then little by little, as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up towards your chest until you're driving them as high as you can. Now for our booty kicks. So it's still a nice light jog, but you're bringing your heels up behind you with each step, trying to kick yourself in the booty with your heels. Now for this next one, you may need to hold on to a wall or a chair for support. If not, you can just have your hands on your hips, but you're just going to balance on one leg, and you're going to swing the other leg in front, swinging and back. Switching sides. So now just swing the other leg. Find your balance first. You can start low and then gradually increase your range of motion, swinging the leg higher and higher. And next you're just going to you're going to make like little circles with your legs. So start by extending one leg out in front of you, just drawing like a little semicircle. And then gradually, you're going to start lifting the leg higher and higher until finally you're going to bend the knee, drive that knee up in front of you, switching sides. So now extend the other foot out in front of you. and just draw a little semicircle. Gradually lifting that leg higher and higher. And then finally, you're going to drive the knee up in front of you and then kind of guide it around with that free hand. Lastly, we're going to stretch our hamstrings. So if you have a chair or a wall, that can be helpful to find the correct position for this stretch, because you want to do your best to keep your back flat in this stretch. If you allow your back to round in this stretch, you're not going to hurt yourself, but you're also not getting as deep of a stretch in your hamstrings. So you don't need to use a wall or a chair, but using the wall or the chair can just help you to keep your back flat, can help you to just really get into this stretch a lot easier, and it can maximize the effectiveness of the stretch. All right, so that's our 5-minute warm up and then some. I always just like to spend a few extra seconds in that hamstring stretch. But our muscles are now warm, so let's go ahead and get into the workout. So here we go. We're starting with 20 squats, and I am starting my timer in 3, 2, 1, and go. So you're going to squat and twist, and then shuffle to the other side, squat and twist. That's 3 and 4. We're going to 20, so do your best. Now lunges, so pick up your weight. If you're adding weight, step one foot to the side, pivot the toes. Now pivot and lunge, pivot front, press the weight up overhead. 2, that's 3, we're doing 10 on this side. Switch hands, and now you're going to step the feet wide, pivot the opposite foot to face the wall, and then you're going to pivot and lunge, bringing the weight down towards the front foot, pivot back, bring the weight up to your shoulder, press it up overhead. That's 2, 3, keep going, we're going to 10. All right, so rest if you need to. Remember, you can always pause the video if you need to rest, and then just come back when you're ready. If you don't need to rest, let's go ahead and get into abs. 20 reps of whatever ab exercise you're doing. I'm doing crunch V up. That's 1 rep. That's 2. So I'm double counting. Each 2 kind of crunches is 1 rep. So that's 2. You're going to 20. So wish me luck. Just do your best, okay? So crunch, V up. So that's only 10 for me. If you're counting, alternating between knee crunches and V-ups, you've already done your 20 reps and you can move on to push-ups. But if you're counting like I am, we're only halfway done. So here we go, another 10 when you're ready. It's 15. As weak as my abs are, these also are really taxing for my quads. So I'm struggling, but we have just 5 reps left to go. Let's push. 16, 17, 18, 19, last one. Crunch and V up. It's 20. Okay, on to push-ups. So I'm doing these pigeon push-ups. So extending one leg behind me, bringing the other knee forward. Hips square, hands underneath the shoulders. Bend the elbows and lower your chest down towards your front leg and push yourself back up. That's 1, 2. Remember to keep your elbows tucked close to your rib cage. We're going to 10, so do your best. Now we're switching sides, so extend the other leg behind you, bend your opposite knee. The top of this back leg is resting on the mat. The outside of your front leg is resting on the mat. Hips are square with the wall in front of you. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Keep your chest elevated. Keep your spine elongated. Keep your back flat. Head in line with the spine. Elbows are tucked into the rib cage. Then the elbows, lower your ribs down towards your front knee. That's 1. 2, pressing the mat away to push yourself back up to your starting position. 3, 4, we're going to 10. All right, that's round 1. We're gonna do all that once more. So let's try to pick up the pace a little bit if you can. If you need to pause and rest, pause and rest. When you're ready, let's go ahead and start on round 2. So starting again at the top with another 20 squats. Right into lunges if you can. 10 reps on each side. Other side. 20 reps. Listen to me cry. Not my weakling abs. Okay, just do your best. So if you're single counting them, you're done with abs. Move on to push-ups. If you're double counting with me, we're only halfway done. We have to do 10 more reps. Quads are crying. All right, just 5 more. All right, almost there. 20 push-ups. 10 reps on each side. Switching sides. Final 10 reps. Get up. It's important to get up and move around. Keep the circulation going while you allow your heart rate to cool down a little bit. So just get up. You can just pace around a little bit. Maybe stretch out the shoulders a little. Stretch the quads a little. Maybe stretch the triceps a little bit. You might be feeling your triceps after that push-up variation, since we had our elbows tucked into our rib cage. That really isolates the triceps on those push-ups. Just shake it out. Shake out the arms. Shake out the legs. All right, so that took me 11 minutes and 50 seconds. We actually picked up the pace a lot in that second round, so well done. We are not quite finished yet. Remember that no workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So if you are a beginner, let me walk you through how to do a beginner bonus burpee. I'm going to include a push-up with the burpee. You don't have to, so you can eliminate the push-up if you want. But you're going to start standing in the middle of your mat. You're going to bend down and place your hands flat on the mat in front of you, and then you're going to step your feet back so that you're in a plank position. Knees down for the push-up if you want. You can eliminate the push-up if you prefer. Then step the feet in and stand. Come up onto your toes if you can, and if you want, You can even add a little jump. If you are not a beginner and you want to try to do the push-up from your toes, let's go ahead and do one final bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So when you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. Well done. And now it's really important that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes at least to do your stretching. Right now, immediately after the workout is the best time to get your stretching done because your muscles are nice and warm. This is going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to do your stretching. If you do not have time to stretch now, that's fine. You can do it later in the day. Just keep in mind that if you put off your stretching until later in the day, your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you are going to have to take a few minutes to warm them back up before you begin stretching. The same way that we don't jump into the workout with cold muscles, you also don't want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles. So if you can do it now, this is the best time to do it. If not, do it at any point during the day. As long as you get it done at some point during the day, it's fine, but please don't skip your stretching. It's really important that you're stretching every day. Stretching after the workout is going to help to alleviate some of that muscle soreness that you may be feeling the next day. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward. And it's just going to increase your flexibility and your mobility, and that is going to improve your quality of life in general. So don't skip your stretching. If you are a beginner and you don't know what to do for stretching, or if you lack flexibility and you need a stretching routine that you can do, there's tons of them on YouTube. You can just search on YouTube for beginner stretching routine or stretches for inflexible people, and I'm sure you'll find a bunch of really great options. If you're interested in the stretching routine that I do every day, it's not my stretching routine, it's just a stretching routine that I found on YouTube many years ago. I liked it, it works for me, so I've stuck with it. So if you want that link, please just ask. I'm more than happy to share that with you. Before I do my stretching, I'm going to add on 20 minutes of moderate paced cardio with my jump rope. So that is why I'm holding Victoria. Victoria is my beautiful silver jump rope with these pretty light pink metallic handles. And if you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link. Use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. But I'm just going to reset my timer for 40 rounds of 10-second rest intervals and 20-second work intervals. That's 20 minutes. I'm gonna put on some music and I'm just gonna knock out my 20 minutes of additional cardio. The additional cardio is not mandatory. It is not officially part of the challenge. But every year when I do this challenge, this is how I do it. For all 40 days of the challenge, after every single one of these workouts, I am adding on 20 to 30 minutes or maybe more of moderate paced cardio. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be jump rope for me. But sometimes I might choose to go for a run, or I might hop on the exercise bike for 30 minutes when I have time. I love to go for a nice long hike. But any type of cardio exercise that you want to do is fine. So if you have access to a pool, you could go for a swim, you can do up and down the steps, or really you can just take a nice brisk walk around the block. Again, it's not mandatory, but I do it because I am trying to use this challenge to get myself back in shape. I want to lose weight. I need to rebuild my stamina, and I'm also looking to strengthen my heart and my lungs, so that additional cardio after each workout really goes a long way towards helping to accelerate that process for me, and it always makes me much happier with my results at the end of the challenge. So if you are also looking to use this challenge to get in shape and lose weight, I really recommend, even if you don't have time to do it after every single workout, if you can even just find 2 or 3 days a week to add on a little bit of moderate paced cardio after the workouts, I really think that it's going to help you see results faster, and that can be really encouraging, and that can help it become a little bit easier to stick with the challenge and keep going. So the additional cardio, again, it's not required. It is not officially part of the challenge, but it is strongly recommended, and I'm doing it, so I just wanted to be upfront with that and share that with you. But whether or not you're doing any additional cardio today, our 161 reps are done for the day, so that is officially a wrap on day 13. I hope you liked this one. If you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. Thank you to everyone who is doing the challenge with me. But even if you're not doing the challenge, and even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe, especially if you want to join the challenge. Thank you so much, of course, if you've been subscribed to my channel for years as well. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. And please remember that it's not too late to join the challenge. It's never too late. So make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Make sure you save the playlist for the challenge. And then if you want to start on day one, just remember that you can start on any random Wednesday with your day one workout. And then all you have to do is follow along with the playlist. It is super easy to follow along. One final reminder that if anything is unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, how to do them with the correct form, or if you need any further help with beginner modifications, or if you have any general questions about the challenge, if there's anything I didn't cover and you have any more questions about what exactly the challenge is, how it works, why we're doing it, how you can participate, where to begin, I'm right here to help, so please just ask. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all right back here tomorrow for day 14. Bye.